who's our centre-back, wins the ball back. I play this one into Joselu, who plays it into Armstrong, and Armstrong finesses that one into the back of the net as Newcastle, against their bitter rivals, have scored in the 90th minute, and we progress to the next round of the Carabao Cup thanks to a goal from Armstrong. Diego Carlos hasn't scored in his previous 4 Premier League games, although he did score a couple of goals and got himself a couple of assists in like his first 3 games in the Premier League. Since then, it's been very disappointing indeed in the Premier League, but hopefully Diego Carlos in this episode will be able to turn things around. Apart from all the games, he's got a chance to sign with potentially Nike or Adidas. You guys will find out who he decides to sign with. Also, Diego has a bit of a beef with Kante after Kante's comments regarding Diego's level in the Premier League. It's been a bit dodgy between them, so we will find out what happens as Newcastle do face Chelsea in this episode. So if you guys are excited for today's episode, drop a like on this video. Can you guys smash out 350 likes? Once again, that would be awesome. And if you are new around here, subscribe for more FIFA 18 content. But it's now time to decide who Diego Carlos does indeed sign with, and it is going to be Nike. You guys voted for Nike, although the vote was close, but I think towards 60% of you guys decided to vote for Nike. Hence, Nike are going to be appointing Diego Carlos as one of their brand ambassadors, which is absolutely phenomenal. And if you would have noticed, I've gone with the Nike Phantom 3 boots. They look pretty cool, but of course I'm going to be waiting on you guys to decide what boots to wear, so drop a comment and let me know. But moving on, now time to focus on the Premiership. We've got, of course, some tough games coming up in this episode. As I said, Chelsea, which is going to be a really tricky game, and I'm hoping I can find my form back again because, well, lately it really hasn't been that great. But even so, form not being that great in the league, we're drawing a lot of games. We are still second in the league, which I still can't comprehend how we've managed to do that. So I'm hoping we can keep that up, but I'm being realistic. There's no way we finish second this season unless some miracle happens. But anyways, moving on, a bit of a media related question now. Valverde has praised Diego Carlos's meteoric rise in the EPL. Would he consider a move back to Barcelona? At this point, I don't think so. I'm playing week in and week out here at Newcastle. The fans love me, and it just is going so well for me. So right now, at this moment, I wouldn't even consider a move back to Barcelona. I'm just going to be building up my reputation here in England, and we'll see what happens at the end of the season. But right now, if Barcelona come calling, I wouldn't pick up the phone, as they would say. But yeah, moving on, we've got West Brom. I'm playing in my preferred centre-forward role. Funnily enough, I did start out as a striker. I kind of struggled at the start playing in that new role, but I've kind of made it my own because I can move freely wherever I want on the pitch, and hence in that centre-forward role, I think Diego Carlos shines the most. I had an early chance to put my team into the lead here, but it just went just wide. I mean, so close. Last episode, we were really unlucky with a lot of chances. Hopefully this episode will be different, but things look like West Brom are the team to score because Sales has to make a fantastic save here to keep us in this game, because so far in these 27 minutes it's been all West Brom. But a defense splitting pass straight into Atsu from Diego Carlos. Atsu cuts inside on his left, puts in the cross. Guidetti heads it down to Diego Carlos, and that is the perfect volley from Diego Carlos to put Newcastle United into the lead against West Brom. He does that classic egg celebration which he's picked up this season from, of course, Robert Lewandowski. But what a finish that was from Diego Carlos. A typical striker's finish. Oh, look at that. That volley was just perfection from Diego Carlos. He hasn't scored in the last 4 games. He's finally back on the score sheet with a brilliant volley to his name. Now maybe a chance here for West Brom as they're looking to get back into this one. Jake Livermore finds Harry Winks, and the former Spurs players does equalise things for West Brom. And this game has been a pretty entertaining one, some good football. Last episode we lacked goals, but this episode, well, half time it's already 1-1. We could make it 2-1 here as Diego Carlos plays in a brilliant pass to Christian Atsu, who goes for the driven shot, doesn't miss, and he does score. We get a +1 in our long passing stat, which is awesome as we take the lead against West Brom. Atsu seems delighted scoring that goal. 2-1 up, and this could be our first 3 points in quite a while, so I'm excited to see what we can do. Potentially make it a 3-1 result right now. Diego Carlos on the run, gets the shots off with that left foot of his, but it's just above the crossbar. Fairly good attempt though from Diego Carlos. What can we see now? Rodriguez on the ball, does pretty well, gets the shots off. Easy save for Sales there, not really threatening our goalkeeper. And that is how this game comes to an end. A decisive goal and a decisive assist from Diego Carlos sets the two teams apart, and hence Newcastle pick up 3 more points, and Diego Carlos gets a lot of stat boosts after this game, which puts him at a 76 rated player, which is obviously awesome. He actually now has a +6 attack positioning boost this season itself, which puts his attack positioning to 83, which is really awesome. As you can see, Rafa Benitez really impressed with Diego's goal scoring abilities. To be honest, he really shouldn't be, as I have not scored in my last 3 Premier League games, and even in that game against Sunderland. But oh well, Diego Carlos is now back scoring goals, and let's hope he can keep that up. He's got himself into the team of the week once again, which is obviously really nice. He gets himself an 82 rated centre forward card. I believe this is his 2nd inform card of the season and looks very solid. Moving on, now we've got our next game, which is against Chelsea. But before that game, well, look at this. Kante says that he's also excited for the clash against Newcastle so that he can put you in his pocket. Oh well, Kante starting a bit of beef here with Diego Carlos. Seems pretty interesting. I think it's all the media creating all this kind of drama and all, but oh well, I'm excited for this game against Chelsea now to compete against N'Golo Kante, who I believe to be is one of the best midfielders in the world in terms of a defensive midfielder. So it's going to be exciting, you know. Kante chatting a bit of shit. Let's see how Diego Carlos responds to that. So I'm again playing in that centre forward role, which I love to play in, and let's hope I can deliver once again. But this time it's against Chelsea, a side that obviously competes for the Premier League title, or of course based on this season, top 4. So yeah, it's going to be a tough game. Diego Carlos on the ball, but guess what? Kante gets the ball off him. A bit embarrassing there, as it was one of the cleanest challenges you will see. Not really the best of performances or the best of starts to Diego Carlos's game here against Chelsea, but now he's on the ball in that preferred position. Diego Carlos plays this one to Gudetti, who tries to be extremely cheeky and tries to just finesse that or guide that into the top corner. Doesn't really work out. Hayden finds, I think, Merino into Diego Carlos, but Diego Carlos gets taken down by, I believe, Kurt Zouma, which I guess gives him a yellow card, and that is a bad challenge, and we've got ourselves a free kick in a good position. Diego Carlos hasn't really established himself as the free kick taker of Newcastle, so Gudetti takes this one and actually gets pretty close to scoring, but the score still is 0-0. Chances were scarce in this game because, I don't know, Chelsea's defense was really good, but this might be an opportunity. Diego Carlos turning one. Of course, he could have gone down because it was a foul, but he decided to stay on his feet. And also, guess what? He finally unlocked 4-star skill moves. I'll talk about that towards the end of this game, in fact after this game. For now, let's focus on this, as in the 87th minute, Diego Carlos with maybe an opportunity, cuts inside with a bit of skill, plays this one inside with a driven pass, but Marcus Alonso does clear, and we could now see a chance late on in this game from Chelsea. Azpilicueta finds Eden Hazard, who goes for the strike, but Sels, who I believe is also Belgian, stops his compatriot from scoring, and that results in a 0-0 draw against Chelsea. And tell you what, if at the start of the game you would have said that we would be drawing against Chelsea 0-0, I would take that as a result. So there you go, I'm pretty stoked about that. 7.7 match rating for Diego Carlos, not that bad at all. Of course, really wasn't the best of performances from him, but overall I think it was pretty decent. One thing Diego Carlos has to work on is his positioning. If you would notice, he loses the ball a lot, and apart from that, he pops in positions where he really shouldn't be there, because, you know, he's got teammates. He's got to trust in those teammates to do their job rather than try and doing their job for them. So I think in the next few episodes we've got to work on Diego Carlos's positioning and always trying and staying towards that centre forward region. So yeah, that's one thing we've got to work on. And as I was saying, Diego Carlos has finally unlocked 4-star skill moves, which is massive. For those of you guys who've been watching me play FIFA for a long time, you will know that the Berber spin and the scoop turn are some of my favorite skill moves, and finally I can do them with Diego Carlos, which is obviously nice. Now I'm trying to, of course, do more skills to try and unlock 5-star skill moves. I mean, that would be awesome. At the start we were talking about Diego Carlos potentially being the next R9 or that kind of a striker. If he wants to achieve that, he definitely needs 5-star skill moves, and something that's come as a Bit of a surprise here. I did not expect this at all. I have managed to win Player of the Month. I don't know how, because I've only performed in one game, getting a goal and an assist, and yeah, I don't know how it's happened, but oh well. Yeah, Diego Carlos has won his first Player of the Month award, and I believe this is for October, so I don't know how he's managed to win this, but oh well, Diego Carlos is your Player of the Month winner, which is awesome. I mean, winning his first award here at Newcastle, first individual award that's recognized worldwide, so that is pretty awesome indeed. And that's a pretty sexy looking card Diego Carlos has scored there, 84 rated as well. Anyways, now we've got Brighton, a game where we should be winning considering our form. We are kind of challenging for top 4 right now, which is brilliant, so we've got to keep that momentum going, trying to get a victory here. Let's see what happens. Again, I'm playing in that centre forward role where I wasn't deployed in the previous episode, so really nice to see Rafa Benitez change his tactics up depending on, you know, how the team performs. But well, we've conceded early on against Brighton, and this season defensively we've been pretty decent, and sometimes we've struggled to score, so this might be a bit of a dodgy game. But Diego Carlos gets on the ball here. Well, not the best of passes, but he still has the ball, and there's the Berber spin I was talking about. Goes for the finesse shot, but it was an easy save for the opposing goalkeeper. Brighton still lead 1-0, and they might actually have a chance to double up their lead as the ball is played in behind to this Baldock guy, who was frightening in this game. His pace really caused us problems, but the score still is 1-0 to them. Baldock again on the ball, causing us problems. Cuts inside on his left foot, takes it wide on his right, gets the shots off. Not really the best of attempts there from him, and the score remains 1-0. But we might have a chance here. Diego Carlos on the ball, getting it towards his left side. Still Diego Carlos on the run. He's gotten past one, but then of course he can't get past the second challenge, and the ball is cleared away. And that is how the first half comes to an end. And in the second half, in the 50th minute, Knockaert puts the ball in, and oh my god, Rodrigo scores the header. Tactics gone wrong in this game, but Rafa Benitez, I don't know, but yeah, not the best of performances at all. Now, if you've got any chance of getting back in this game, we've got to show resilience. We've got to show passion. We've got to try and do our best in this one. And that is exactly what we did as Lejeune. I'm not sure how you pronounce this guy's name. He leaps in the air, gets his head on the ball from a cross, from a free kick actually, and converts it. And he runs straight towards Rafa Benitez. It just shows the players they are completely behind Rafa Benitez, which is obviously needed a lot in a club. But this is Diego Carlos's moment. A Cruyff turn to completely sell 3 defenders. Goes past the 4th. It's still Diego Carlos. Goes past the 5th. And he manages to put the ball into the back of the net with his right foot. That is sensational stuff. That reminded me of Ronaldo, R9, El Fenomeno in his prime, and brilliantly executed by Diego Carlos. I mean, I know it was his weak foot, but the way he just tapped it home was just beautiful to watch, and somehow we've managed to secure potentially a draw against, of course, Brighton. Look at that for a finish. I mean, not much power required. You don't need power if you've got the accurate placement, and Diego Carlos opted for that. So yeah, a draw against Brighton, and to be fair, I know it's not the best of results, but the circumstance we were in, a draw is actually really awesome indeed. And again, in this game I was guilty of not being in the right position at the right time, but oh well, it worked out well, to be fair. We've got to work on that though in the upcoming games. And also I've decided to switch up my boots to this Nike Mercurial Superfly 6 because it looks pretty cool. But of course I'm willing to change my boots up very soon, depends on what you guys want. And also something else I'm looking to change, my hairstyle. I'm kind of bored of this, so if you guys have any suggestions for hairstyles, drop it down in the comment section below. And also look at this, I've unlocked some more traits now. So far I had the long throw-in trait, which was pretty useless, but also the skill dribbling trait, which is super useful. But now I've got myself the early crosser trait, which could be useful seeing I put in balls to John Guidetti, and also the outside foot shot trait, which is something that, if you would have noticed, Luis Suarez has in this game and is very useful for someone who's predominantly one-footed as Diego Carlos is. So that is definitely going to help. Now in the next episode we've got Arsenal, the likes of Crystal Palace. It's going to be a solid episode, even Liverpool. Also a quick reminder, the Spurs career mode begins this weekend and I'm beyond excited for that. I'm going to keep that series as realistic as possible. We're going to make only signings that actually make sense. So it is going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, hope you guys are excited for that. That's it guys for today's video. I'll try and upload another My Player episode very soon. If you guys have enjoyed this episode, drop a like on this video, subscribe if you are new around here, and I will see you guys soon for another episode of this series.